Tom I'm the plant executive director here for General Motors. We're honored to host you all today for this important topic and this important discussion and this forum that you all are having here today. So before I hand it over, just a little bit about General Motors Spring Hill. So we are a big complex. We do a lot of things here. We build a number of different vehicle products. We build both internal combustion engine vehicles and EVs. You had a chance to see a few of them outside. We build the Cadillac XT5, Cadillac XT6 internal combustion engine vehicles. We build the Cadillac Lyriq EV. We build the Acura ZDX EV. And we also are getting ready to launch in February of next year the Cadillac Vistic EV. We are very well vertically integrated on this site. We have our partners, which is our joint venture with LG, Ultium on the corner. And we also make the batteries here. And in Lynn's plant, we make engines, some of which go into our internal combustion engine vehicles, but some of which proliferate throughout the enterprise as well, which makes Spring Hill very, very vitally important, not only here locally, but to General Motors as a whole in the role we play. Obviously today we're talking about apprentices, and in my 25 years I haven't seen us have as many, and I tell Al this all the time, as what we have here today. I think we've got about 60 of them that are in the program as we go forward. We just graduated a number of them just a few months ago. And as a son of somebody that was a skilled trades person that went through the apprentices, I have a very great appreciation for what these folks do and what they do for us every single day. Not only in the tasks that they do and the education that they have, but the safety culture they bring, right? And I think that's vitally important to what we do here, and putting safety at the center of everything we do to make sure everybody goes home exactly the same way they came to work every day. It's vitally important in this apprenticeship program and that we have, and how we train our employees to make sure that not only they work safely, but drive the business forward is vitally important. So enjoy your day. Welcome to General Motors Spring Hill. Again, we're proud to host you all, and hopefully you enjoy your day here. Thanks.
Good morning. My name is Lynn Moore, and I'm the Assistant Plant Director at the engine plant, where our 1,100 team members build approximately 2,200 engines per day. And we supply 60% of the assembly plants across North America. So again, as Anton said, we are happy to have you here today to find out more about apprenticeship programs. I'm an electrical engineer by training, and for most of my 40 years with the company, I've spent working alongside and leading maintenance team members. So I can absolutely say that they are critical to any successful manufacturing operation. The apprenticeship program, in turn, is a vital pipeline to train future skilled trades team members. So apprenticeships are vitally important. Here at Spring Hill, we currently have 60 active apprentices across 3 trades, and we've graduated a total of 150 apprentices over time. So a very successful program. So again, I just want to say thank you for being here, thank you for your attendance, and welcome to the Spring Hill site. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Denise Thomas. I serve as Commissioner for the Tennessee Department of Labor and Workforce Development and Apprenticeship TN. This amazing Apprenticeship TN staff is one of many parts of our organization. I really want to extend a heartfelt thank you to GM for hosting us today and being at this amazing facility. It goes without saying, your economic and workforce impact in the state of Tennessee is incredibly important to us, so thank you for opening your doors today. Apprenticeship is, we can talk about how it's been a long-held model of success, and that's true. We can talk about how apprenticeship opened doors and opportunities for a lot of individuals in the realm of workforce development, and that's true. But apprenticeship goes even beyond that. It is a gateway for economic and financial independence for a lot of people. And it's done in a way that it makes it very attainable and harmless. And let me explain what I mean by that. We have incredible opportunities in the state of Tennessee that you can go and get credentials, degrees at no cost. Our state leads the nation in some of our education investments. But for some Tennesseans, it's not practical to leave a job and go to college for 2 or 3 years without having earnings, because the mortgage doesn't care if you decide that you want to go to college, right? It keeps coming. Apprenticeship allows you to earn and learn at the same time, so you're able to be a valuable part of an organization while you are learning and gaining proficiency to reach the mastery level. So apprenticeship gives you an opportunity to be successful, but doing it your way. And I love it because it embeds industry support from the very beginning. See, apprenticeship is not some state or federal run program alone. It is a public-private partnership, because if GM didn't buy into apprenticeship, nothing would happen. So it really is an amazing opportunity for so many people, because we know not everyone will take the traditional route to go on and get 4-year degrees, and that's okay. And apprenticeship is not a lesser route. I love to say that because it dispels the myths. It's just a different route. And I think for us, as we look to change the way we talk about how career attainment happens, I'm so thrilled we can live in a state where it doesn't matter which way you do it, as long as you do it. And so Apprenticeship TN represents that. So I got a lot of thanks today. One, again, is Shalandra Shaw and her team with Apprenticeship TN. Listen, I always tell folks Tennessee was a little late in getting the message around how important apprenticeship needed to be in our state, but boy, when we got the invitation, that we arrived at the party. And so now we are a player in apprenticeship, and it's not going anywhere. And whether it is a traditional skilled trades, or it's in healthcare, or IT, it doesn't matter. We believe every occupational can be apprenticeable. With the right relationship, with the right folks, we can make it work. And I hope that when we have these apprenticeship gatherings in the future, we're tripling the number of apprentices that we have in our pipeline. I think there's a lot more education that we'll continue to do to help people understand how this program can really be amazing, not just for them, but really changing the trajectory of their entire family. And so thank you for being here today, because that shows your level of commitment. I see apprentices in the audience, which always gives me a big smile. Thank you for hanging in there, for making the commitment to change the rest of your life, because apprenticeship will do that for you. So thank you to all of our business partners, our industry partners, our education partners, both in the post-secondary level, and my friend Matt, and at the K-12 level, because we believe apprenticeship can start in the high schools. We don't have to wait until you graduate high school. So thank you to all of you in the role that we play. Lastly, I'll say before I give my stand, because you've got a lot more important things to do than listen to me, is that it will take all of us in this room in order to continue to make apprenticeship successful. It will be continuing conversations of listening to the needs of our business community and making the right adjustments so that Tennessee not only leads, but puts a big gap into the runner-up and the competitive edge around workforce development, and that happens with programs like apprenticeship. So thank you for being here today. Thank you for all of our amazing partners, and it's my honor to be here with you today, and I'm going to turn it over to the amazing Shalandra Shaw.
Your commissioner calls you amazing. What does that make her? She is phenomenal. We are so thankful for her leadership. Thank you again, Commissioner Thomas. Good morning. Happy National Apprenticeship Week. It is officially Apprenticeship Week. In the South, we call that NAW. You know, that's kind of how we do that with our Southern drawl. It is normally the 3rd week in November. It is a very special observance. This is the 10th year that there has been a national observance. We're celebrating engagement, expansion, and innovation. And what better place to host our middle convening than here at General Motors. They have been such gracious hosts, and we are so thankful for their support and their thrust in really embracing apprenticeship and being the champions that we need to really bring awareness to the work. Being that Tennessee is a volunteer state, we know that the registered apprenticeship system is voluntary. So we do not take it for granted that you all registered. You showed up all without having a virtual option. Kudos to you. We're so thankful to all of our sponsors. If you are an intermediary sponsor of apprenticeship, If you are an employer sponsor or training provider, can you wave your hand? Can we give them a round of applause? Value partners, we cannot do this work without you all. The Apprenticeship Tennessee Initiative in the office was established in 2019. It's empowered by the Tennessee Workforce Development System. So there are several state agencies working with the Department of Labor and the State Apprenticeship Agency to make this work. So cherished recognition to labor, of course. Tennessee Board of Regents, if you're in the House, we're 34 out of 39 of our state institutions are sponsoring or training apprentices. THEC, Tennessee Department of Education, where we currently have 530 teacher apprentices. Tennessee Department of Economic and Community Development, they recruit the business and we supply the workforce here at Labor. DHS, Department of Corrections, you are all truly valued. A special recognition to our Tennessee Apprenticeship Council. We will host our final meeting of this cycle on tomorrow. We are anticipating 10,000 apprentices before the end of the year. So we're very excited. We're at 9,500. So fingers crossed for that milestone before year ends. We have 431 programs, 121 state certified pre-apprenticeships, and 470 active employer partners, including General Motors. That deserves a round of applause. Now, before I hand it over to your middle director, Mr. Brandon Finks, who believes there's magic in the middle, and I'm feeling it, I am feeling it. We want you all to follow us on social media. We don't want you to just promote registered apprenticeship professionally. We want you to do it socially. So please follow us on social media. Grateful appreciation as well to our local workforce development areas, our executive directors and boards and staff and our AJC network. If we have any public officials, state, federal officials, thank you for your presence here today. Any U.S. ambassadors of apprenticeship, and of course any apprentices that are here, we consider you celebrities. So we may ask you for a couple of autographs today, so don't be shy.
My name is Brandon Finks, and I'm honored to serve as the Regional Apprenticeship Director for Middle Tennessee. My region spans 40 counties and encompasses 3 workforce boards: Northern Middle, Southern Middle, and Upper Cumberland. In my role, I am dedicated to expanding, promoting, and enhancing registered apprenticeship and certified pre-apprenticeship programs. We believe these programs serve as the gold standard in workforce development, paving pathways for sustainable careers and economic growth in our communities. I embarked on this journey in May of this year, following my previous experience as a category manager at Dollar General corporate offices, which provided me with invaluable insights into workforce needs from a corporate perspective. Although I'm relatively new to state workforce development, I bring a deep-seated passion for service, education, and empowerment. My mission is to connect employers to the tried and true workforce development strategies, and those are the gold standards for registered apprenticeship and certified pre-apprenticeships. To explore this topic further, we are honored to have with us a diverse and esteemed panel of individuals. Please join me in welcoming some valued friends of the Office of Apprenticeship to the stage. Our panel today includes a representative from the Workforce Board, a training provider, an employer, a sponsor, and TBR. Their insights and experience will be invaluable as we delve into how the apprenticeship program enhances workforce development and offer mutual benefits for both individuals and organizations. To start, I want to start with Kevin Bird. Kevin Bird is an accomplished workforce development coordinator at the Tennessee Associated Utility Districts, where he plays a pivotal role in shaping the future of water and wastewater industry. With over 4.5 years of dedicated service at Todd, Kevin has successfully coordinated a Department of Labor registered apprenticeship program and tailored to train individuals for careers in wet water, wastewater, and natural gas facilities across Tennessee. Prior to his tenure at Todd, Kevin has a distinguished 30-plus year career in education, serving both as a teacher and a principal, which he honed his skills in mentorship, leadership, and community engagement. Kevin holds a steadfast commitment to the lifelong learning and development values that have greatly influenced the approach to workforce training. His ability to integrate educational theory with practical industry knowledge makes him a sought-after speaker on these workforce development strategies and industry training programs. Kevin resides in Oneida, Tennessee, in a scenic Scott County with his wife, and he takes pride in his family and his two sons, the two adult sons, and he brings up personal anecdotes and insights to each conversation he has. Larry Dickens is the apprenticeship training manager for North American Stamping Group. He is an associate degree in mechanical engineering and has worked in tool and die stamping field for the past 45 years. He has a passion for sharing what life has taught him with the next generation of skilled workers that will keep America competitive in the global marketplace. He has a passion for sharing Larry has been married to his wonderful wife, Ruth, for 30 years together and have a beautiful daughter, Haley, who graduated from the University of Tennessee, Martin, in 2023, and she's getting married this month. Alan Farley is a seasoned professional with over 3 decades of experience in General Motors. Since joining GM in 1985, Alan has advanced through the key roles in foundry, machining, and powerhouse operations, contributing to the success of the Saturn launch at Spring Hill in 1988. Alan's leadership has exemplified in his development and management training programs. He led the Journeyman and Training Program from 2012, guiding over 200 skilled tradespeople in certified roles. Notably, he revitalized GM's apprenticeship program in 2016, with 60 active participants and 21 recent graduates. A member of the Columbia State Community College Advisory Board, Alan ensures alignment between technical education, industry needs, and his dedication to workforce development training impacts both the current and future manufacturing professionals. Marla Rise, the president of Workforce Essentials, leading workforce and economic development efforts across 13 counties in Middle Tennessee. With over 35 years of experience, she plays a crucial role in enhancing workforce strategies that drive regional and economic success. Marla holds a bachelor's in business administration from Austin Peay State University. She also serves as executive director for Northern Middle Workforce Board, where she influences important decisions with labor policies and programs. Recognized on a local, state, and national levels for her leadership and commitment to workforce development, Marla has written and received over $10 million in grants to assist transitioning soldiers and spouses at Fort Campbell. She is active in many nonprofit boards and community-based organizations. Marla has a passion to help others and grow the business industry in Tennessee. Marla's commitment to workforce excellence continues to inspire economic growth in Tennessee and beyond. Richard Urban is a seasoned professional with over 20 years of industry experience and a strong academic foundation. As the program director of engineering systems technology at Columbia State Community College, Richard spearheads initiatives to equip students with the necessary skills for today's dynamic and technology landscape. Richard holds a Bachelor of Science in Electrical Engineering from Virginia Tech and a Master of Business Administration from Xavier University. His career milestones include a role as a sales engineer, product manager, and director of forecasting and business planning. These roles have honed his expertise in blending technical proficiency and strategic business acumen. Since joining Columbia State Community College in 2022, Richard has been dedicated to advancing the engineering systems technology program. In his previous experience as a math adjunct instructor, he enhances his ability to effectively reach and inspire his students. Richard's commitment to education and technology makes him an asset to both his students and academic community. His passion for fostering the next generation of engineers and innovators is evident in his work and continues to drive his career forward. Thank you, Richard. So to get started, I'd like each panel to kind of briefly tell us about your company and the role of the registered apprenticeship program. Alan, we'll start with you.
So the role of General Motors is we have really committed to generate and produce qualified, skilled trades as we go forward in our local, not just our local agreement, but our national agreement We have committed to put on 650 apprentices nationwide during the next 3.5 years here. So the registration part of the program is already set up, but anytime we need any help, Brandon, Stephanie, and the whole workforce team, they're there to help us. So I'm not sure exactly more to add to that. That's it. So.
Hi, my name is Larry Dickens. I'm with North American Stamping Group. And North American Stamping Group is a Tier 2 metal stamper. We make car parts. We supply these good folks here, but we don't do it directly. We do it through the Tier 1s. So as a Tier 2 stamper, we make parts and sub-components by assemblies, send those to the Tier 1s. The Tier 1s then send those assemblies to the OEMs, and therefore they go into your cars that way. So we have 2 registered apprenticeship programs at NASG, a tool and die maker program, which is an 8,000 hour or a 4-year program, and we have a press operator program, which is a 1-year program, 2,000 hours. Each program requires a certain amount of JTI, RTI, which is related theory instruction. We teach about 900 hours to our tool and die makers and about 160 hours to our press operators. Through those 2 programs, we're able to provide the skilled labor that our company needs, and the registered portion of it just makes sure that our apprentices get something for themselves.
Thank you. I'm Kevin Bird. I'm with Tennessee Association of Utility Districts, and I have a relatively new apprenticeship to the state, and we have a need in the state of Tennessee to replenish our loss of water and wastewater treatment plant operators. As a result, our association, who provides technical assistance across the state to all the water, wastewater treatment, natural gas facilities in our state, our association was funded to initiate an apprenticeship program to alleviate this need. So we have a new and relatively young program. We're really excited about it, but it's born from the need for water and wastewater treatment plant operators in our state.
Good morning. My name is Marla Rye, and I'm with the Northern Middle Workforce Development Board. We're a part of the Middle Tennessee region. And Brandon, you said that this was the last region. That's because they always say the best for last. And I am part of one of 3 workforce areas. I've got my peers here with me today. Barbara Kaiser from Southern Middle and Selena Moore, and then from the Upper Cumberland area, Becky Hull and Tyler Ashler. So we work together under the fine leadership of Brandon and Shalandria, and we support apprenticeship programs as a tool to workforce development. And we have grants and fundings, which we'll get into a little bit more later, but we're very happy to be here with you today, so thank you.
Good morning, I'm Rick Urban. I'm the Director of Engineering Systems Technology at Columbia State. And today I'm representing Columbia State. We're an educational partner to Allen and GM program here. We'll talk a little bit more about that as we go through the morning, but at any point in time we have 50 to 60 apprentices and JITs running through the 4-year program with General Motors, and we provide the RIT training for them. So it's been a very, very, I guess coming up on 9 years, Alan, or?
Yeah, it's been for this last one, it's actually 10 years.
Oh, 10 years, okay. So it has been a very, very important part of Columbia State, and we'll talk about that a little this morning.
Marla, could you talk about a little bit of your experience with the registration process, challenges, surprises, lessons, successes?
Absolutely. So I want to say that when I first was introduced to an apprenticeship program, I was on Fessler's Lane at the Nashville Electrical Joint Apprenticeship Training Program, and I walked in and I see this state-of-the-art equipment there and the program that they have, and again, this has been several years ago. I'm thinking, why aren't all occupations utilizing this model to train individuals? And it just hit me is that this is a very important and critical part of workforce development. Now with the registration process, I will tell you that my first experience was not easy. Now bear with me. That was because my real first experience was with the teacher training program, the Grow Your Own program out of the Clarksville Montgomery County school system. teaching was not an apprenticeable occupation at that time. So we had to go through the entire process of getting that apprenticeship program established as first in the nation. I didn't realize what went through with getting an occupation deemed as apprenticeable. They had to go through and verify with third-party industry associations and various employer groups to make sure that those standards were set at a level that was going to be good for not only Clarksville, Tennessee, but teaching as a profession across the nation. So that was a challenge. But now that Tennessee is a state apprenticeship program, and I have been able to work with Brandon on helping employers register their apprenticeship process, he makes it easy. And especially if that program or that occupation is already defined, it's really almost a breeze to get through that process now. And I would just encourage you to utilize the resources and the services that are available as part of the workforce system and as part of Apprenticeship Tennessee.
Alan, as an employer, can you kind of give us some of the challenges, hurdles, or successes with the registration process?
Well, for me, cheated a little bit because I was an apprentice, not this century, last century. I'm old. All right, so I knew where all the pieces were, and I knew what I needed to go find. At the time, I think it was still ran by the federal office, and just reached out to him, and of course I had contacts at Columbia State because a couple decades before I was there, so I'd say apprenticed in the early '90s. But so currently, once you go through it and get an apprentice registered, it's pretty easy. The only thing you might get in trouble with, if you expired your 6 months, you got to get a whole brand here to get your ID turned back on. But it's very, very straightforward. You can print out whatever the documentation you want, either Brandon or through the network. Almost every type of program you can think of, there is what we call an Appendix A outline for a different trade or something that you can model an apprenticeship for yourself or your business to fit. So it's really a straightforward system, even printing out the documentation now for graduation. So if everything's all set, once you start doing it, you go in there when you first register them. If you do any updates on pay, you can put that in, and then when you complete them, depending on how long your program, 2 or 3 years later. So it's pretty simple.
Well, our experience with the registration process would be that originally we as a company had an apprenticeship program for many years, and it was a program where you sent your students to the local VOTEC school or something like that, and then you worked them for 4 years, and at the end you gave them a certificate. And there wasn't a whole lot of monitoring on it, but our company dealt with a consulting company, and the consulting company was charged with what are you going to do to stay competitive in the future? What are you going to do to make your company successful? And they said that you would have to grow your own skilled labor, that you would not be able to hire it off the street, and so you're going to have to grow your own. And so we set out to create a different program, one that was stronger. So we do our RTI in-house. We weren't 100% satisfied with the product we were getting the other way, and so we wanted to make sure that we were getting what we wanted, so we wanted to train it ourselves. And so we set out to do just that. And so we set up a training program, we built a shop, we built a classroom, and so we were able to teach exactly what we want, the way we want to do it. The fact that registration then required a lot more detail than anything that we had before. I got help from, I see her back there, Charlene. But we were able to come up with a really robust program. Because of that, after the pandemic, we found ourselves in need of press operators. We don't know what happened to our press operators, but they didn't come back. Prior to that, we had never really considered them to be skilled labor. They're not skilled labor until you don't have them, and then you realize, oh, they are skilled labor. And so we created a press operator apprenticeship program, and we were able to do that through the Tennessee version instead of the federal version, and it was much simpler. I had a lot of help in creating that registration, and it became more straightforward. You just get a lot of help, and I just tell you that if you're out there and you're thinking about it, then do it because they're really able to help you.
Richard, can you tell us how your company, Columbia State, has benefited from registered apprenticeship?
Yeah, obviously, we're an educational supplier, so we'll come at it from the angle of what has the apprentice program meant to Columbia State, and certainly Alan talked about it from the GM perspective. But it's been a great thing for Columbia State. The way we provide it is really in three different prongs. Under the Engineering Systems Technology program, we have a number of courses that provide the training that Alan needs for some of the machine repair and electrical repair workers. We're providing the educational course. Those students will actually enroll in Columbia State. I see a couple of my students in the audience. Will enroll in Columbia State and become during that semester, actually be registered to our class. We provide educational teaching of that, and they come in every week for a 2-hour lab to get hands-on and reinforce what they learned in the content. There's another prong of how we provide the educational training, and that is where we don't have a course in engineering systems technology, but maybe our TCAT partner does, if it's welding or if it's machine repair. So Workforce will partner with TCAT and provide that training to General Motors. The third part is a part where General Motors might ask for some courses that we have not developed as yet. And so we have developed a couple courses. Trig for Machinists is one that we're teaching right now. We'll be teaching 3 or 4 other courses that we have really understood from GM what they need, and we've developed course content for that. At some point in time, they may be rolled into the engineering system technology as an elective, but that's the other third way we provide it. So from Columbia State, it's been tremendous. As I said, any point in time, probably 40 or 60 apprentices or JRTs in various phases of their apprenticeship are coming for their RIT from us. And quite truthfully, it's able us to expand our product offerings and become better at what we do. And also, there was a need. So we wrote for a grant to the National Science Foundation for robotic technicians, and so we were given that grant, awarded that grant, and so the next 3 years we were working with instructional material for certificates, 1-year degree, 2-year degree, with robotic technicians. So again, it's been an excellent relationship with General Motors, and the apprentices, I'm always very, very impressed with them. They are making quite a commitment. Our particular apprenticeship is with GM. They're going through 8,000 hours, and then they have the 700 and some hours of RIT. So they're making quite a commitment, but General Motors is making quite a commitment to them as well. As they roll out that program, they can make a very nice living. And I like the folks that are trying to make themselves better. Maybe they were on the operating line and said, "Hey, I want to just get involved in repairing these machines," and so as we all know, machines have gotten so sophisticated out there. So there's a void coming, and that's why the apprentice program will continue to grow, because it's the maturing workforce. I throw myself into the maturing workforce category. As they retire, then there's younger sets coming on, and they need to be trained, because skills, as everybody has mentioned here, does not happen overnight. So it's been a tremendous boon for Columbia State with this partnership with General.
So speaking of that, how, Larry, are you guys promoting registered apprenticeship?
Well, we promote our apprenticeship programs in various ways. The simplest, most way we do it is if we have a class coming up, we post it in the plant. That's the way we get the majority of our apprentices, because just as I heard, some of the other people say that as the people see that as a career path, they want to be a part of it. So we put up sign-up sheets and let everybody who is in the plant that wants to be a part of the apprenticeship program sign up. And so we do testing and we do interviews and we do things like that in order for them to grow. The other way we do it is we'll post jobs. Just on our normal website, if we have that sign up and we're looking for a new class, we'll post to make sure that people from the outside can see that it's a registered apprenticeship program and there's opportunity there. But the other thing that we do is I go to high schools, I go to TCAP schools, I go to, you name it, I go there. If they call me, I come. And I talk to the students and I let them know what we do and what the apprenticeship programs are. I let them know that it is a earn while you learn program, that it's something that benefits them and they go away with no debt, those kind of things. And we talk about the pay. They love to hear about the pay. The pay starts out really good and it ends up even better, and so they love that. So I've gone to all of those the different high schools, and besides that, going to the high school and talking is one thing. We bring them in. We bring high school classes, STEM classes, the TCAP school. We have a TCAP there in Portland. We bring the whole school in. We've even had the cosmetology folks come in, and that's awesome, because honestly, when they're working on their customers and they say, hey, I know of a really good place your husband could find a job. Those are the kind of things that we see. And so there are no set way to advertise, but there are many good ways. But the most important way is for one apprentice to tell someone, you need to do this.
Kevin, could you tell us the way your rap, how the rap has changed, how your teams recruit and train your talent?
Oh, absolutely. Being an association, traditionally in the state of Tennessee, there hadn't been a lot of recruitment. It kind of happened in-house at facilities, especially in rural communities and smaller facilities. So bringing the apprenticeship program on was really the first initiative in the state of Tennessee that promoted operator certification. And we do it in 4 different areas: water, wastewater, collection, distribution. So our association divided the state into 11 regions. And across those, I go to region meetings across the state. We meet 3 times a year in each of those 11 regions. And those bring our general managers, board members, operators, and other employees in the industry together in these centralized region meetings. So I can get 60 to 100 people together in one region meeting and really get the message out. So that's my primary way to promote. However, I do go to high schools a lot. I've even been to some junior highs. TCATs, have met with community colleges and tried to develop partnerships. Developed a pre-apprenticeship partnership with a couple of high schools, and that has kind of word of mouth has spread from that. We have a website. We are also supported by the National Rural Water Association. So their publications and their social media all has information about Tennessee and the Tennessee Apprenticeship Program. Our website does the same. But our primary focus is to hit those GMs at the region meetings, and then I'm on site constantly. I will go directly on site and give information and recruit directly. Okay.
Marla, how has the local workforce board supported the registered apprenticeship program?
Thank you. Simple. We support registered apprenticeship processes in 2 ways. One, we've got to make the employer aware that there's an opportunity for registered apprenticeship programs and connect them with Apprenticeship Tennessee. And then the job seeker standpoint, we work through the American Job Center system, and there's a lot of folks that can't afford to go, even though we've got a great education system in the state of Tennessee and a lot of financial assistance available. There's individuals that can't afford to go to a regular educational institution, and educating them on the value of apprenticeship programs and how they can earn and learn at the same time and get their education for free. So marketing that through the American Job Center to those job seekers, and we have what's called an eligible training provider list, where registered apprenticeship programs can be listed on this public website so that job seekers can go on there and see that XYZ company has an apprenticeship program and make that inquiry about what they can do to be a part of that program. Now, from the employer standpoint or viewpoint, we have got funding available to support registered apprenticeship programs. Through the Workforce Innovation and Opportunity Act, we have what's called incumbent worker training grants, where we have worked with Larry at North American Stamping, and we can supply up to $25,000 for him to offset the cost of his training programs. NHC Healthcare, that was in the video, is another company that we worked with. We have worked with some of the joint apprenticeship training programs as well. The plumbers and pipe fitters and the carpenters, I believe, are a couple of them that we have provided training funds for. Also, through Apprenticeship Tennessee and Governor Lee, he has funded at the state level apprenticeship dollars where we can support employers up to $2,500 for first and second year apprentices, and then $1,500 for third or fourth year apprentices. So if you as an employer are looking to get into the apprenticeship field as a way to improve your company culture and upskill your workforce, there's dollars available. All you have to do is reach out to your American Job Center, your Workforce Board, or Apprenticeship Tennessee to make that connection, and we're there to support you.
We've talked about the registration process, but when it comes to program implementation and your administrative workload, how has the Office of Apprenticeship provided support, and what kind of support would you like to see offered? Alan?
So the Office of Apprenticeship here in the state, they're always there on call. The workload, once you get them registered, that part of the administration part's over. Now, depending on how big a program you got 60 people, there's a little bit of work at tracking their times, making sure all the documentation's in place, that so at the end, you can verify that, hey, these guys have met the requirements of the apprenticeship program that you've agreed to and has been bought up by the state or the federal government through the Department of Labor. So the work there is actually rewarding, I would want to say, because I got a couple of apprentices standing back here, but you get ownership over these folks that come in. They're not kids, but you almost feel like they're your kids. You try to get them to get them through the program, and it's really such a rewarding end on the other side when you get through the program and watch them graduate. Some of the other things we haven't talked about here was the return on investment. It gets down to the bottom line. What's the return on investment? For every dollar you spend, you get about $1.37 back almost immediately in what you invest in an employee through not only not having the contract to work out, but through lower insurance costs. Because you got a safe, trained employee that understands the role and task and how to do it safely, and that bodes well with your insurance company. So there's just the rewards are just tremendous, and versus what the burden is, because it's not really that bad. There is, like I said, you got to document, keep your records on file, so that you can validate. This person was trained, and here's the hours on how he committed. Apologize for my laryngitis, but it's like I can't say enough good stuff about it.
As we talked about before, the registration process is a lot easier through with their help. But just like all government type organizations, it's a little bit wordy, right? There's all kinds of documents. It takes 20 pages to ask a simple question or something like that. So, but once you're done, once you're set up, Alan is absolutely right. It becomes one of those things that sort of takes care of itself. And so it doesn't require a whole lot of your time, which is fortunate because you have to spend a lot of time teaching your students and doing other things like that. So it's really good. He did make a really good point that as we grow our apprenticeship programs and we see our students, we become attached, and that's true. They're like children. So you really want to see that take place. Maybe you don't see that in other people that you hire, that you do in your apprentices. What kind of support, oh, this is my favorite part, right? What kind of support would you like to see offered? Make it simpler. You're already doing a good job of that, but make it simpler. Less wordy. A lot of people who are running apprenticeship programs, we don't need all the extra fluff. So anything that you can do and anything that we can do to make that process simpler and easier will make it more attractive for employers, that kind of thing.
I'd just like to add quickly, because sport, with a new program, the first one that we had in the state, and a new pre-apprenticeship program, the Office of Apprenticeship has been unbelievably supportive. I couldn't really think of anything to add, because everything I've asked of them, they've done. They're incredible individuals, and I've asked some crazy stuff, but they have come through with everything, and no issues at all. I couldn't be more impressed, and just wanted to say thank you to that staff. Chandra and her staff are just incredible office. Thank you.
Marla, how have you implemented registered apprenticeship service delivery within the American Job Centers? Have you seen an increase in interest?
So one of the things that we do within the American Job Center system is try to embed apprenticeship programs in what we call sector strategies that pertain to our target industries that we're trying to serve. You saw in the video the Tennessee Builders Alliance building the new Nissan stadium in Nashville. We have implemented a 100-hour pre-apprenticeship program for individuals that want to get into the construction field. Now, a lot of those individuals are justice involved. So what are we doing to encompass those individuals and support them through the American Job Center network? We're enrolling them into the Workforce Innovations and Opportunity Act program so that we can provide necessary supports to those individuals to increase the likelihood that they're going to complete and go on and have a job. What do I mean by that? For those of you all that are in the construction field and training, you probably know one of the hardest things for individuals is construction math. And what we're doing with that training program is we have our partners with through the Tennessee Department of Labor Adult Education Program. We're co-teaching with the pre-apprenticeship program. So when Richard here has a problem with math skills, we can go behind him with the adult education program, make sure that he's getting the remediation so that he can stay up to speed with the peers in his classroom. Another thing that we do within that program is we're enrolling them and we're paying for them to complete the training program, about $18 an hour, so that they are earning and learning at the same time during this pre-apprenticeship program. Other things that we do, we work with a lot of the local school systems, and we allocate at least 10% of our funding to go to support teacher apprentices. And we go to all of the school systems within our area and talk with them about growing your own programs. And then we help the individuals that are the apprentices. I could tell you one that was going through the program that was really struggling. Her engine blew up in her car, and we were able to provide support services to get her transportation up and running, and so that she could complete the training program. But I think what I want you to know through here is the American Job Center system sees this as a tool, and that we can support those apprentices on a one-on-one basis to help them become better employees for you in your apprenticeship program.
Thank you, Marla. And Kevin, you spoke of pre-apprenticeships as well. Can you speak to your experience with pre-apprenticeships?
Part of our outreach with my apprenticeship program is to recruit young folks through pre-apprenticeship. So I was able to develop our first pre-apprenticeship, last year in Lincoln County with two high schools down there, Lincoln County High School and Fayetteville City High School. And we started with about 10 juniors and seniors, and we did the water treatment approach. So they met at our water treatment facility, and they got some basics about water treatment and how the plant works and some of the water chemistry. We got them on campus because we always want to promote higher education if we can as well. So we took them on campus and saw a water program up at Tennessee Tech. So it's a neat outreach program that actually, again, word of mouth has caused it to grow a little bit. We just initiated, just got one approved in Gleason, Tennessee, a small program there, and it's unique in that it's going to be with the city of Gleason, and the individual will be in a work-based learning program in high school, and then he'll leave half a day and work for the city of Gleason. So we're really excited about that, and he's going to be, again, learning and earning in that program. So, you know, they're fledgling programs, but they're really taking off, and it gives a certain population in a high school a place to belong. You know, we have all kinds of sports teams and agricultural departments and all kinds of clubs, and this is yet another club, if you will, for the right individual to be part of an organization and also get some knowledge and expose them to the industry as well. Again, we as an industry, as water industry, have not done a good job promoting ourselves, so that's another attempt to do that. And another thing, if we can rule out the industry for young people, that's an advantage as well. If they find a job that they don't want to do, that's important through the process in high school and growing into an adult. So we're really excited about it.
Larry, would you say that your rap has brought you a positive or negative attention to your company internally and externally?
Definitely, it is a positive reputation or a positive example. As we started the program, there was a sign out front of our building that said, $4,000 sign-on bonus for anybody, for a tool and die maker, and like $2,000 sign bonus for anybody in the plant that would recommend somebody that would come to work as a tool and die maker, right? And so we set up our program, and I tried to encourage our management to understand that an apprenticeship is not a sprint; it's a marathon. Okay, it's a long-term solution to your job needs. But we set it up anyway, and their expectations might have not matched mine. But at any rate, it wasn't very long before the sign came down. The way that we knew we were doing something good was the days my guys would come to class, you would hear the people in the shop moan and groan, "Oh, all of our help is leaving." So, even before they were very far along with the program, we saw the benefits. The benefits then came by getting higher skilled people as they graduated. They stayed with us. My classes are getting smaller because our shop is getting full, that kind of thing. There's just always a natural flow of people. But yes, from that, then, the registered apprenticeship, the positive influence comes from the community. They see it, the schools see it, other companies see it. I'm here today because it has become something that people talk about or see, and so it has definitely brought our company something. But the one untangible is our customers love it. We bring tours through our plant of new customers, and we walk them through the beautiful shop and the classroom, and they listen to me drone on and on and on about how we teach our people, and they tell our staff, "Wow, this is amazing." And so you're going to be able to handle our work because you have the skilled labor in place, and you're training more, that kind of thing. So yes, we get great positive feedback from our programs.
Awesome, thank you, Larry. To close us out, I do want to pose a question to the whole panel. So in 30 seconds or less, what advice would each of you give to an employer who is considering establishing a registered apprenticeship program? Either one of you guys can start.
I'll start that real quickly. I would just say, go do it. Go look into it, and you can talk to a number of businesses that have them. They work. I've experienced the positive aspect of the GM apprentice program, so it sounds like there's all kind of help out there to get you going. So just go do it.
On that same lines, you don't know what you don't know. Ask questions. There's plenty of organizations here to support you and help you accomplish your task. When you implement, celebrate your successes. You're growing your business and you are changing the lives of your employees. Make a big deal out of it. Grow your own and celebrate what you're doing, because it's going to pay dividends to you as a company.
Again, it's very, very important to not just your own business, but to the country as a whole, to try to grow and recognize the skills that you have in your companies and the communities. The talent's out there. Like I said, I have two sitting here. They have the talent. They just need the skills, because we've had a long gap in the apprenticeship program for the early part of the 2000s and late 90s. So there's a big gap in skilled labor out there. So if you're out trying to find it, you're going to have to do a massive retraining and trying to get folks anyway. So it's very easy. We got all kinds of help that you can't imagine. Just go forward and do it.
He said it, Richard said it, just go do it. That's what you have to do. You have to do it. I would say this, if you're thinking about it, first make sure you contact some of these folks if you're on the edge and not sure. But something else that hasn't been talked about, I think, is that look inside your organization for a teacher. Somebody like me. Oh, have a wealth of knowledge, a wealth of experience, and a desire to give it back. And they can be that person who can take that program and run with it. Too many people think that, okay, I'm going to start this program. All right, John, you got 10 minutes in the day that you're not using. You run our program, right? No, don't do that. Make this for real and make sure that you get someone, and they're going to be the manager. They're going to be the one that runs the program, and they're going to be the ones that handles the registration and the administrative work. And if you want to teach. If you want to just to manage, do that. But make sure you got somebody in charge, and look inside your organization. Give them a chance. They may be thinking about retiring, but they might stay around for a while if you give them this new opportunity. So look at it that way as well.
One else said, definitely do it. And something that we are trying to do, echoes what Mr. Dickerson was saying, is that we're trying to grab that institutional knowledge before it's gone and get it in the heads of these young apprentices. And that's a big deal in our industry right now. So definitely get involved. There's funding available and lots of support. So do it.
Thank you all. At this point, we want to move into the Q&A of the panelists.
This is an apprentice with MCCCC, which is Manchester Coffee County Convention Center. And I just happen to know this because I've been out there a few times. They have a phenomenal apprenticeship program led by a Wonder Woman, is what I call her, Miss Rebecca French, right here in the red. So here you go, Mr. Apprentice.
The apprenticeship program got me on track for higher learning and just college opportunities, just through a desire to kind of better myself and in a way better my community. At first I was struggling with college, but through this program I've kind of figured out what I want to do with my life, and I want to go into hospitality as a result. So kind of just gave me a bit of clarity and a bit more reason to what I'm doing.
If you wanted to bring apprenticeship training to your business and needed to sell it to your leadership, what do you think the 3 best selling points would be to your company leadership to put in the investment it takes to design and run an apprenticeship?
Well, one for sure is the ability to mold an employee to fit your business. In the water wastewater industry, all the plants are similar. All that, the processes are similar, but each plant kind of operates a little different. So this is an opportunity for them to mold that employee to, you know, a guy that's trained specifically on site for that specific position in that specific place.
I would recommend visiting a business that already has a vibrant apprentice program. Obviously, they had determined a need at some point in time, and I'm sure the needs are pretty common out there with what everybody has said this morning. So if you visit a business that has one up and running, that's probably your best ability to sell it to your management team.
I would also like to add that if I was selling this to my boss, I would say this is a way that we can improve our company culture, that we can invest in our employees and they can have a career pathway and see that we are a caring employer that wants to see them advance in their career as well as helping us achieve our goals.
Yes, I agree with everything that they have said. You know, let you know, take them somewhere and let them see one. Listen to the management there talk about it. Let them hear it from there. You've heard it somewhere throughout the panel. The RTI, the return on investment, right? The ROI, excuse me, the return on investment is there, and your accountants and your managers can talk about that as well. But you know, it's just really important that they see it and that they work with it that way. One of the things that as they do tours in my plant and we come around to my park, one of the things that I tell the customers and visitors that day is this: the reason that we have the program is because we needed skilled labor, and we were told that you're not going to find it on the street, and you're going to have to grow it. And so what I tell the customers is this: is if our engineers and if our salespeople are bidding on a new contract and they have to leave a $40 million contract on the table because we don't have the skilled labor to support it, then all of a sudden the cost of or the administration of the apprenticeship program becomes tiny, because if we can have that skilled labor and we can get that $40 million contract and please our customers, it's a no-brainer.
Yeah, just to reiterate, the return on investment, again, the documentation's out there shows clearly it's the minimum of $1.37 for every dollar invested. Plus, the fact that was mentioned again is a career path for your employees. Once you get through the program, there's also plenty of information out there that shows the retention rate of that person you train is like 91%, higher than what you would normally have for employee loyalty. Safety, you'll be able to, depending on what your job, I know everybody's got, we got a vastly different group of businesses here, but your uptime stays up, your downtime goes down. Safety, there's a host of issues from a business aspect of why you want to do an apprenticeship program, to have most maximum trained, highly qualified trades and other folks in your business that you're running.
Good morning. This is Jeffrey Dent with State Director for Veteran Service with the Department of Labor. And my question would not be me if I didn't ask something about veterans, because I'm a retired 20-year veteran. And then do you have a process where you integrate veterans along with the apprenticeship, like the GI Bill, the Veteran Apprenticeship Program, and things like that?
Yes. I have had several veterans come through my programs, some of which were already employed by the company, but then I have worked with the Veterans Administration and I had them come and they audited and they did the whole rundown, and I went to the classes. There's all kinds of classes that you have to take, and there's a really gnarly website called VA1 or something like that we had to keep up with, right? But yes, we were able to do that, and I was able to secure, I think it was like $1,500 a month for this one veteran to pay for his housing, things like that. So it's out there, and it is definitely something that we are willing to do and something that we have done for our apprentices.
And just to add to that, like the work opportunity tax credit, and things of that nature from veterans and disabled veterans.
Well, I've got two vets right now, and they're both receiving the GI Bill.
Yes.
And, funding there, and I have to navigate the program as well. It's a monthly, obligation,
Yes.
And gosh, they certainly benefit from it. It's a big deal, those guys getting those benefits.
Absolutely.
As well, if they have a background in anything really that I can substitute, for their RTI courses, I try to do that. If they've had a background in water, wastewater, and a lot of vets do, we will try to substitute and save them some time and money there as well.
For GM, we look at everything from a corporate aspect as far as our numbers, but as we initially started with our first group, took a look at that and actually brought in, like when we brought in our 2019 group, and slowly brought in veterans to boost our numbers up. Now, since we've gone through our latest program where we bring them in, we're steadily bringing in probably about 25% veterans just naturally. We hired internally, and our veterans are in that mix.
Good morning. My name is Tracy Thomas, and this is Mr. Walter Perry. We're here on behalf of the United States Department of Housing and Urban Development, known as HUD. We represent the state of Tennessee. I'm actually out of the Nashville office. Walter covers Knoxville, Memphis, and Nashville. One question I have is, what challenges do your apprentices have with housing? And I know that the state does a great job at providing resources, but we wanted to figure out a way that we could partner with you as well. So we'll be around after to share some information with you. And I just wanted to congratulate the apprentices on committing to empowering yourselves. I'm very proud of you for that.
Most of our employees, or apprentices we've had, came from inside the plant, so they were already local residents, but we have had probably 5 or 6 in the last few years that came in from out of town, and Spring Hill is, housing is really, really rough. So it's a great cost for the incoming apprentices from out of the area, because just a 1-bedroom apartment, they're paying $1,600 a month. So one of the offsets that we do have here for us is our apprentice starting rate is higher than probably most of them. So we start at $36 an hour here. So that does offset some of it, but there could be some help needed going forward, particularly in this area of Tennessee with the cost of housing and apprentice people going into the apprenticeship program. So there's a potential problem there, yeah, so any help would be great.
So one of the things that I think would be a best practice that I've seen is when you if you're starting an apprenticeship cohort, to have someone that is working with those apprentices on a personal level, so that they are aware of the challenges that they might be facing at home, because let's face it, housing, daycare, all of those things are barriers for new employees, or even an employee that's been with you that's wanting to upskill. So having someone that's working with them on a one-on-one basis to understand their personal challenges, and then having that connection to various community-based organizations that are there to help with resources that might be available, American Job Center, other community-based resources that can surround them and support them to overcome those challenges.
So one of the things, not particularly with housing, but driver training costs. We've got our TCAT provider here, does an excellent job for us. For a long time, we were able to have that training here locally, but for reasons beyond our control, they were not able to maintain the facility we had here on site. And so the result, some of our apprentices have to travel 40 some miles one way to go to training, so related training. That's an issue for a lot of areas, but one of the things that I found like they do in Michigan is that they actually have an apprentice travel fund to help offset some of the costs for doing long distance traveling. So that's something I would like to see that we take a look at. If there's something like that we can do for apprentices, and anything to offset daycares.
Hi everybody, my name is Mandy Filliall. I am with the Office of Reentry, and I can't let Mr. Dent show me up. I wouldn't be me without asking a question about a justice-involved person. So one of the big barriers to employment for justice-involved individuals, other than the housing and the transportation, is sometimes the mental component, like they have different mindsets. It's not really in the corporate mindset. So I'm curious, what things do the apprenticeships have to offer to not only help with the housing and the workforce and things of that nature, but do you have like a mentoring program, like a one-on-one to truly help someone kind of take them under their wing and go the distance to help those barriers to actually truly give these people the option for the reentry that they deserve?
What did you say your department was?
We're with the Office of Reentry, housed under the Department of Labor.
Okay. We don't specifically work with you guys, but we have, our company works with an organization, and I think they go by HCM. As best I can describe it to you, it's a halfway house. These are I'm guessing felons. They were incarcerated, and they've gone into this halfway house, and we hire quite a few of them actually. I think at one time we had about 60 on our roll, but many of them have gone through for sure my press operator program. I don't know that I've had any in my tooling program yet, but we've dealt with them, and so the way that program is worked is that they're in this house, and their first phase, they call it a phase, they come to us, they work, and we pay the halfway house. Second phase, it's half and half. The half of their work, they get paid, and then the other money goes to the halfway house. On the third phase, they move out on their own, and they get all of their pay. And so we work with those folks and help them establish themselves. I've seen really good things, and I've seen some sad things come from the partnership with the program. We've had 3 die. They lapsed into drug abuse or have died, but I've seen more come out and grow out of that. So one young man came into the program reluctant to speak up, reluctant to believe that this was going to be good for him. And very quickly, he turned around. We invested in him, and he began to shine. Very intelligent, very hardworking. Went and got his GED on his own, talking about going to college now. Moved out of a less than perfect situation with housing situation with someone else from the halfway house, and moved into a place of his own with his wife. Just seen a dramatic change in this individual. So, we're trying. We're working with the people that we have and doing what we can. So,
for General Motors, in the apprenticeship program, we don't have anything direct tied to, but they can come into production as long as and work out that way. And we have gotten folks in the apprenticeship program, and I work with the resulting officials to make sure that they're doing everything they do, and it's been great. So just haven't had a lot of them, but there's not a direct path they have to do. There's some steps to get there.
Hey, Xavier Jones, Tennessee Rehab Center in Smyrna. I just wonder if there's a lot of opportunities for individuals with disabilities that come through the apprenticeship program.
Again, we do not discriminate that. I mean, they have to meet the same goals that everybody has to get in the program, and we have some with disabilities, and we mentor and watch and provide the necessary resources for them. But so far, partners back there shaking their head. We spend the time, but it's worth the effort. Yes, we don't discriminate against any of that, but they just have to meet the minimal thresholds that everybody else has on getting in the program for General Motors.
We need them to be safe.
Yes, be safe.
Can we give a round of applause for